Guys, getting ready to descend, and I just made another video, but you may be a while before you see this one. I got to connect my GoPro to the computer, and I can't remember where I put that connection thing. But anyway, this video I wanted to show you my first descent on these wheels, and big shout out to Dave's Wheels in Arizona. Look it up, Dave's Wheels. He built up these wheels the way they are. They've got the sap and race spokes, alloy nipples, and I sent him the parts. I sent him the hubs and the rims, but 95 bucks a wheel, and that included the spokes, and a great job. And they're straight and true. They just came out really, really nice. So getting ready to descend, and let's see how they rock and roll. I'm running about 20 psi right now. I might take some out. We'll see how it feels on this first part, and then I'm going to ride El Prieto and do a rear view look at El Prieto with my camera pointing out the rails. I got my rail mount. But it's finally some nice weather. It's been really, really hot. I've been off my mountain bikes for 2 months. I rode yesterday for the first time in 2 months, and this is my first single speed ride in 2 months. So it's really kind of weird when you go that long without mountain biking, but you know, if you've been mountain biking as long as I have, it's not a big deal. I really like how these tires feel. This is the first time I've used this Teravail Honcho in front. I was using it in back. It's kind of a cross-country tire, but it's still got some bite to it, but not as much bite as my Maxxis DHF. But that DHF is an acquired taste. So I was telling you guys on the other video that riding a mountain bike or a single speed mountain bike on a flat trail is really a buzzkill. You have to have some decline. Hello. Thank you. You have to have a little bit of, vert in order to really enjoy single speed, because you're not going to be able to get it up to speed on a flat, because if you have one gear, how can you like switch gears and get more speed on those flats? You can't. So this is the upper part of Brown, and it's pretty smooth actually for what's in store when you compare it to El Prieto in the lower part of Brown. That's a little chunkier, but see how this has a lot of nice smooth sections. So I didn't take 2 months completely off mountain biking. I mean off biking. I used my gravel bike, and like I said, it's because I had that shoulder rejuvenation thing done where I had stem cell and I had PRP injected. So PRP is, in case you guys don't know what that stands for, it's protein-rich plasma. And so what they do is, if you guys have any medical background, you understand what, your blood has plasma, which makes up the volume of your blood, and your plasma gets separated. If you just left your blood like in a tube, you would see how the plasma separates, but they can also centrifuge it down. Sorry. Any more? Thank you. So you could centrifuge it down and then you can draw off the plasma. And so that's exactly what they do. They've been doing it for athletes for a while to use it for speedy recovery when they do procedures on, like a pitcher has a bad elbow or a football player has a bad knee. And so I got it done on my shoulder. They've kind of really got it to a science where they've been kind of getting not only the plasma, but they've been getting the stem cell, and then kind of taking the stem cell and creating these exomes from the stem cells and refining it to the exomes that are have a kind of a off-label use, because those are the exomes that are supposed to be better for growing connective tissue. And if you guys have done any research on biology and stuff like that, you realize the stem cell stuff is pretty amazing what they're doing. They actually I just heard the other day that they were growing some stem cells and it actually grew into something that looked like it formed an eye. So that's crazy. So it's I'm not trying to grow an eye but if it can, what they do is what they did on my shoulder is they inject it in, and right where I have my tears on my tendons in my shoulder. So they inject in the exomes, stem cells, and the PRP together. And then where the tear is, I did a lot of therapy before, and I kind of broke down all that scar tissue, because it's been years and years of repetitive injuries that have made my shoulder lose some of the range of motion. But for the most part, I was really concerned about losing my strength, and I wasn't able to lift like I used to. So I wanted to regain my strength and keep my range of motion. And it really, if you look at my posture, it seemed like it pulled my shoulder back in a little bit. So that was kind of cool. But we'll see how the strength goes. I've started lifting again and working on getting my strength back. But I'm taking it easy. I'm listening to the doctor. That's why I didn't ride my mountain bikes for 2 months, and I only rode my gravel bike long distance on the road, because I do believe that getting long distance rides and keeping your heart rate up for a long duration like that is really good for you. And so I've always believed that. And I also believe in consistency too. So I can't, even though I may have not rode mountain bikes for 2 months, I still rode and I still worked out. And I don't think I've ever taken 2 months of not working. Well, I did one time. I took like 6 or 8 months of not working out when my daughter was born. And well, she was born in May, and I didn't work out all the way until the end of that year. So 7 months of not working out, and I got really, really fat. So that's the only time in my life I've ever gotten fat. And I don't blame my daughter. It was having my first child, and I was the most significant thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I never took time off for school. I always lifted while I was in school. I always lifted while I was working. Even when I was traveling overseas and living in the Philippines. If you guys look way, way back on my old videos, you can see that I worked out there. I worked out in my room, in my hotel room, or in the condo that my friend let me stay in, or at the house, his house I was staying at, a friend's house too. I worked out at the house, just push-ups and sit-ups, and long walks. That's one thing too, I've been doing a lot of walking, and I put that video up about 2 weeks ago. So